Hi Copic in the craft room friends, Michelle Houghton here. I have one of the new stamp sets that was released for April from Kraftin Kimmie. So I am going to be coloring up one of these images. I have stamped her in a memento kind of pale pink ink, so I am going to be doing some no line coloring. This is a super adorable set. So this is one that has a lot of potential for doing some happy sunshine filled cards, especially right now as we are all needing a little sunshine in our homebound lives. All right, so I'm going to try to keep this pretty simple today, but walk you through some of the stuff I do when I do no line coloring. We are going to have to speed up a little bit just to keep us going. So the first thing I am going to do is I'm going to use a multi-liner, and this is a 0.1, and I'm going to get the pupils and kind of where the eyelashes would be. I do let that dry for a second, and I'm really cautious as I come up, especially with a lighter marker, to make sure I'm not blurring those. So I've got E01 and E11 coming in for the shading. The base is the E50 that I based her skin in. So going in with the second, that's the E11 coming in now, smaller amounts, and just because the skin is a little bit more pale, I can still see some of those pink lines, so I'm not super worried. And we don't have a bunch of connecting areas at this point. You've got the face, you've got the hands, but I can still see the individual pieces. I am going to add a little E93 on her cheeks to get those a little rosy, and then I use a tiny bit of that E50 to blend those edges back out again. So E13 is going to base the hair. I'm leaving some white just so I'm working kind of real cautiously. E15 is next because I still want to see the direction pretty clearly as I'm adding this in. I don't want to lose those pink lines right away. Here comes the E19. Fewer strokes as you get darker on the hair, just like you would if it was a black lined image. And then I'm going to use that E13 to come further into that highlight. And the white is almost going to disappear. But this was a case where I felt like it was safer to not base that entire hair. And I'm using a YR21 as a highlight color, and that comes in and takes the white out. I'm using one of the darker colors, the E15, to add those eyebrows back in. And then I've got an E04 that I'm going to fill the mouth, and I'm going to use a tiny bit of E09 just to give that a little more depth and push that back a little bit. All right. So then we're going to have some fun with all this yellow. So I've got a Y15 I am starting with, and this is where you have to kind of play it by ear. You might want to do the coat in sections so you don't lose things like pockets and that kind of placard at the top and cuffs. Y17 is next, coming in. It's kind of a cone shape, and the arms come up from underneath. The body gets that shading kind of from both sides to create that rounded shape. Here comes that Y19. And to me, that wasn't getting it as much contrast as I wanted, so I jumped all the way to a Y38. Now, if you have this color in your stash, you're going to note that it has a feel of almost like a lighter YR or orange. And so for me, a lot of times for a finishing step, I'll jump up to that higher saturation number. The Y38 is going to do a really nice job with that. Going back and blending, kind of hitting reverse and blending those colors out. I could still see the pockets as I was coloring, but again, if you needed to do just small pieces at a time, just do a little piece. Don't try to do the whole thing all at once. Do the hood, then do the sleeves, do the jacket, and then save that little placard and the pockets for last. The little duck friend is getting colored with the same combination. This time I skipped the Y19. I feel like it just wasn't enough of a jump. A YR21 is going to go on the little beak, and then a YR24. And that's where you really see the difference between those YRs and the Ys. So when I add that back in, tiny bit of multi-liner on the duck as well for the little eyebrow and the pupils. And I decided I'm giving her some bright pink boots. So she's got an RV11 and then an RV14. They're going to be nice and bright and cheery. When I end up creating the card for this, these are the colors that I kind of base that card with, is adding those bright, cheery colors. All right, so a little experimenting on what to do first, and then I'm coming down with a B41. I'm really just playing here. I didn't have a specific plan in mind, and so I didn't know if I was going to just do the petals or if I was going to put it more of a bigger wet area that then they're creating those ripples and petals in. So this is a B41, and I decided to end up basing the area in that. Notice it is not saturated, it's not real smooth. B45 is coming in, and I start with the ripples that are drawn and the drops, but then I create ripples that go further out using the very tip of that brush nib. B99 is next, and again, just a fine line. Does not go all the way around the ripples, but it's just reinforcing some of those on the drops and the petal ripples where they're stomping. B41, I'm just brushing over that very lightly. I'm not, again, not trying to blend this in, but I'm trying to smooth some of those areas out and soften the effect of some of it. So Colorless Blender is next. I'm going to come back in and create a whole nother level to the rings and create some highlights in those rings as well. Remember, with a colorless blender, you actually are going to have to go over an area several times, especially to create those rings. So it's not going to be a one pass thing. You're going to go back and forth and back and forth. Got a B000 that's going to fill that sky area in, keeping it simple and easy. We've got a cloudy, rainy day that turns into a bright, sunny day. So these two are going to be playing outside, enjoying the now sunny weather, which happens a lot in the spring. So I think it works. So I am doing this little thing that I've been doing a lot lately where I'm leaving kind of cloud shapes in that sky area, doing small circles with my medium broad nib to create the sky, and then leaving these kind of little cloud shapes. And then I immediately come back with my colorless blender and I just circle around those edges to soften them, and it's fairly effective. I get some nice clouds doing that. So thank you for joining me today. I will turn this little cutie patootie into a card. And again, this is a new release from Kraftin Kimmie. So, oh, and I forgot some little eye color. So she's getting a little B41 and B45 in her eyes. And I'm just bringing that. The 4-1 goes all the way around. The 4-5 is going to come in for the top half of the iris. So thank you again, sorry for stopping by. Thank you to Kim over at Kraftin Kimmie for letting me play with her newest release. I know this is a stamp set I will come back to because I need to color up the little girl on that bright sunny sunshine. When you have a chance, make sure to stop by the Kraftin Kimmie blog and shop. Also stop by my blog, scrapweaver.com. Check out the latest goings on. I have one new Copic college opened up in Las Vegas in the fall, and I am still going to be running these Copic colleges as best I can. So as long as things open up, I will be there teaching. So say a few prayers and we will get coloring weekends going here soon. Thanks everybody for watching. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. I do check in as often as possible. I'm in the middle of a move, so I know those are taking a little longer than normal, but I'm here. So ask your questions and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks again. Everybody have a happy, colorful day.